Good morning, everybody. It is Friday morning, and I am about to finish scuffing the car for its flow coat. I've sanded the whole car. Oh, post lacquer ready in 500, flattened it all off, ready for the flow coat. Now what I'm just doing is I'm going around all the edges, all the nooks and crannies with grey scuff, which sits about an 800 grit, just to get all the corners and the edges and the nooks and the crannies and everything, just so it takes the lacquer. And the reason we do this is because when you do the line work and all that sort of stuff, it leaves big crevices. So when you obviously, you think the silver is at the very, very base, everything you put around it, it builds up, and then the different levels are off. You've got a couple millimetre difference. And so the idea is you smash it with lacquer the first time round, you then sand it all off again, make that all flat and lovely and consistent, and then you put one final coat of lacquer over the top of this, and it, one, should lay like glass, and two, will no longer show them nooks, all them lines and wiggly bits from when you're doing your airbrushing and your line work. Now, this is probably one of the most boring parts of a custom paint job. It literally is mind-numbingly boring. Partly because at this point in a custom paint job, you've already block sanded the car 4 or 5 times. You've already de-aged the car 5, 6 times, and it gets incredibly tedious. And the worst part, I think, of this bit is the fact that you've already seen it in lacquer. So that element of excitement of seeing your custom paint job come to life is gone because you've already seen it. And this is just like, at least when you're doing a custom paint job, however stressed and bored you may be, you've always got in the back of your mind, I'm gonna get to see this soon. You know, you've got that excitement of seeing the end result, of seeing how it actually comes out. Because you never truly know what your custom paint job is going to look like until you've lacquered it. So once you've done that and you've had that dopamine hit and you've had that, you know, you've had that moment of, wow, that's fucking cool, I pulled it off. And then you come and fucking sand it back off again. It is mildly depressing, but it is absolutely vital. Because what would happen, even if it looked good, yeah, in lacquer, which it did, after a couple of days, it will start dropping back into the line work and stuff like that. And you'll end up with a really horrible lacquer finish, and it just is not worth it. Plus the amount of materials you do actually put on anyway, it's always gonna drop back a little bit. And you wanna eliminate as much drop back as possible, because the last thing you want is to unmask the whole car, like be done with it, and then discover 6 months later that you've got to mask it all up again and prep it all again and re-lacquer it all again. Like, just fucking do it while it's in the booth, right? It's already taped up. Yes, I am probably gonna have to re-tape up some of it, and I'm gonna have to clean the life out of it, because obviously with a flow coat, that's your final coat. It needs to be immaculate in here and on the car. But it's so worth it, so worth it. Like, you can save realistically, a car this size, if I wasn't to flow coat it, I would probably spend 3 to 4 weeks cutting and polishing it, which I would not do because I fucking hate cutting and polishing. I think polishing is horrific. I would much rather spend 2 days running around with a little bloody scuff pad, 500 in the flat panels, and then go around all the edges with a scuff. I would much rather do that for 2 days, as mind-numbingly boring as it is, and just flow coat it. Because then when you do polish it, you're only going to have to do a couple of tiny little bits, you know. Because if you've done your flow coat, you've not got any lines to worry about. You've not got any orange peel to worry about. The only thing you're going to have to worry about is if you've got the odd D-nib here and there, which, if you clean the car well enough, you shouldn't really have any. I mean, it does happen. It doesn't really matter how clean your booth is. Sometimes it just happens. You just get things in it. You can't be helped sometimes. One thing I struggle with actually with scuffing on a custom candy over flake job is the fact that it's always shiny. You can't tell if you've scuffed it or not because the flake is so shiny. It still looks shiny after you've scuffed it, so it's really hard to tell if you've actually scuffed it enough or not. But yeah, it's all good fun. Massive shout out to Custom Paints, by the way, who have partnered with me on this Chrysler 300C Hot Wheels build. Fantastic guys there, absolutely fantastic guys. Callum I've been dealing with for a long time. He's a top guy, he really is a top guy. So if you ever do need custom paints, ring them, press number 2 and ask for Callum. Fantastic. And yeah, so I was the first person in the UK to use the Candora. That's on the pink side, and the emerald, that's all Candora. It really is a really good candy. So what the difference between Candora and candy is, Candora has a completely different setup. It's still candy, but unlike candy, it doesn't get absolutely destroyed by UV damage. So candy gets mullered as soon as it goes in the sun, pretty much. Whereas the Candora is completely different. You can put it in the sun, it'll be fine. It's not really any different from a normal base coat, which is handy. Because you don't want to do 20, 30 grand paint job, take it to a show and then, well, take it to a few shows and all of a sudden it starts going patchy. If you don't already know by this point that this is being entered in Hot Wheels Legends, then you must have been living under a rock. But one thing I've not mentioned so far is I don't actually know what the criteria is. It seems to be a very tough competition to win. Because there's no categories per se, you know. As far as I'm aware, you turn up alongside, well, obviously you have to apply, but if you get through, you turn up alongside a whole ton more of car builders that have all built their own one-off unique pieces of art. Now, if there's not a category, this is what I'm thinking, right? If there's not a certain category, then how do you even judge that? Because let's say, you know, a normal car competition or something would be the best pre-90s or the best paint or the best fabrication. Whereas Hot Wheels Legends, I think you all get thrown in the same pot and someone has to win, which leaves you in a very big spot of bother, really, because you don't actually know what you need to do to win. It's a bit vague. You know, I am a hot rod builder, but I chose to do the Chrysler 300C, one, to test myself, and two, because I thought it's just a not really iconic car, and I thought, you know what, the Hot Wheels community need a 300C in the lineup, because there's one and it was absolutely horrific, right? And I was like, do you know what, we need to do this for the Chrysler people. I need to build a Chrysler 300C that is Hot Wheels worthy, and we'll get the 300C put on the map once and for all, right, in the Hot Wheels world. So that was my thinking with the Chrysler. So in reality, actually, it's a little bit out of my comfort zone, because I'm used to custom painting hot rods and custom cars, or, like, you know, steamroller motorbikes and stuff, not modern cars. So, but yeah, when you arrive at the competition, I'm guessing it's just a free-for-all, and you just have to be that good that you steal everybody's attention. So, oh, it's quite a tough one. I mean, I'm not building just to participate. I would absolutely love to win, you know. Like the amount of hours that's gone into this, even this front end, for example, the amount of hours. I dread to think if I haven't even counted the front bumper hours, but like I brought, just to bring that out an inch from its standard position. Fucking so long. To build this big, massive F-15 style fighter jet front end. so long to graft all this bottom end in, like the splitter section, and so long. So long. I had to reinforce. It's not even just that. Like I had to reinforce all the bracketry, which is actually falling away from the car. But as we speak, but reinforce all the bracketry and stuff like that. It's not literally isn't just as simple as just just making it. There's so much to it. But yeah, I'll be honest. I would be gutted if I didn't win the Hot Wheels Legends in 2027. I would be gutted. I really would, because so much effort has gone into this car, and so much effort is still going into this car. Like this is the thing. This is just one slither of what's to come. This is just the paint and the body. I've still got to do the interior. I've still got to do the running gear, the engine. I've still got to do the suspension and everything. I've got to decide whether I go with air ride or not. Either way, I need to lift the car up because it's 3 fingers from the floor, and I ain't getting out of here. Not in Hailsham anyway. Fucking the roads are dreadful. I'm driving around in a car that's 3 inches off the road in today's world. Dreadful. I'd be losing panels every 2 seconds. So I've either got to lift. I am going to rake the car, so the back end is being lifted up in the air and the front end being ploughed into the ground. However, I don't know whether to do that on normal setup, like coilovers, or just to bite the bullet and set up air ride, which I actually have not done before, weirdly, given that I'm a custom car builder, but I am primarily a custom painter. And I've grown up building hot rods and classic cars and being around that industry and the world. And I've always been surrounded by them, but somehow I have never installed an air ride system. I mean, it can't be that hard, can it? It's not that I can't do it. I've never been in a position where I've needed to do it. And I'd like to think I could do it. So it's just the costings as well. Like I'm other than the paint partnership with Custom Paints, I'm fully funding the rest of the car. And you think, all the time I'm working on this, I ain't get paid. Not directly. So, I mean, I do have like a little small income from social media and stuff, but other than that, like I'm funding this, and it's getting a bit expensive. You think for the last 4 weeks, given as well that I've done between 15 and 20 hour days, like something's wrong with me. Absolutely smashed it. I worked out the labour cost if I was to do this for a customer, and up until this point, it stands at about £32,000 just in labour. That's before paint, that's before wages, that's before anything really. That's literally before anything. 32 grand just in labour that I've done on this, and I'm not expensive hourly. That's how many hours I've put in. I mean, I should really put my prices up, but hey ho. So you think if I was doing this, that's potentially 32 grand that I could have earned from customers, from doing other work, customer work, in this time period, and I've not. I've been playing around with this bloody thing. So it's getting a bit, what's the word, juicy? It's getting a little bit painful now every time I have to buy something, and then, to go and spend another, fuck those, 1,500 quid, 2 grand or whatever it is on an air ride, and then spend however long it's going to take to set it up, and lose more money on the labour side of things. This is the problem. Like, this is the assumption that people have. People say, oh yeah, but you can do it yourself, so it's free. I'm like, no, but it's not free. It's actually more expensive because there ain't no mates rates involved. Do you know what I mean? Like, you are paying the full labour on it. You don't see it, but you are paying the full labour on it because, yes, I'm not paying for it, but I'm not getting paid, So if I do a month's worth of work, which I have on this, non-stop, forgetting the fact that I've done double shifts and more than doubles, like 2.5 double shifts. You forget that, take that out of the equation. Like, I've not been paid for a month. I'm missing a month's money. So I've still got to pay my bills. I've still got to pay rent on the workshop. I've still got to pay rent in my house. I've still got to pay all the bills. Do you know what I mean? It's just, people have this misconception that it's free for us, and it fucking really ain't. It really, really ain't. I'm finally finished sanding and prepping for the flow coat on the Chrysler 300, and I'm going to show you the importance of changing your scuff pads, right? This is how serious I am about changing your sanding discs and your scuff pads whilst you work, so that you don't get any impurities and you don't get any scratches while you're prepping, right? This is how many scuff pads I have used just for the edges, right? So obviously I DA'd that with the 500, all the flat panels. I've probably done, I don't know, I've done maybe 60, 70, I think I've probably done about 80 now, 500 sanding discs just on the car, right? I change them like twice, 2, 3, 4 times a panel, so that I don't get any impurities, any scratches, anything like that. And then all the edges, so all the corners, all the edges, the awkward bits, I do with a scuff. Now this is how many scuff pads I've gone through, right? So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 25, 26, 27, 28. That is how serious I am when I talk about you need to keep the impurities away from your panel, right? Nearly 100 sanding discs and nearly 30 scuff pads. But you can't, when you're doing something like this, you just can't take risks. It has to be perfect. And you're gonna have to put your hand in your pocket and get these things. If you want perfection, then you must treat it like an angel. So, now for the massive clean-up jobby. I've got to clean the absolute life out of this car before I put the lacquer on it. So for the next 2 hours, I'm going to be dusting, blowing out, degreasing, tacking, degreasing, degreasing, buffing off over and over and over again, and cleaning that right up, because we just cannot afford for anything to go wrong at this stage. So I'm going to leave you, and I will come back when we're talking about lacquer. So it's done. You can probably tell I'm a bit moist. About an hour and a half's worth of cleaning of the car, degreasing, preparing it ready for the flow coat. Now it's time to get suited and booted. I'll get my paint suit on, get the CX2 and HS25 made up, get the gun ready, get this flow coated, and produce an immaculate 300C Hot Wheels build. Coat number 1 is on. Now I was only going to do one heavy coat, but I ended up going just a little bit lighter because I didn't want to push my luck. I'm too invested to be pushing my luck at this point, so I've done one medium coat, and then I'm going to go back in there in 25 minutes. Usual flash off time is 15, but I want to really ensure that nothing bad is going to happen. Because like I said before, I can't stand polishing, so I'm going to wait 25 minutes. I'm going to make myself another drink and get some air, have one of them. Don't think you can say that on here. And then hopefully that takes us about 25 minutes of chilling. As long as I don't fall asleep when I sit down, which I have been doing because I'm so tired, we should be alright. Right, that is the final coat of lacquer on the car. I'm shouting because I haven't got my microphone and I don't want to touch it, and I'm also incredibly shiny and sweaty. It is literally, it's too hot to paint really. It is so hot in there, unbelievably hot in there, and you got all this fucking suit, your mask and everything on, absolutely dying. The things that customers don't see, eh? Absolutely, mate, get me in my pants, quick as fucky boy. I am literally dripping. Oh, disgusting. Do you know what? You know how hard it is to paint something when you are dripping constantly? Oh. Bugger me and call me Susan. Whew. The Chrysler 300C has been flow coated. It was a success. I've just baked it off and I'm gonna give you a proper walk around of how she looks. Right now, I'm so excited. I'm so happy that it's finally done. I'm so glad the stress is over. Obviously, I have so much more to do still. I've still got to do, obviously, all the trims, the wheels. I've got to take them up to Dartford to be rebuilt. I've got to do the suspension, the running gear, the engine, the interior. There's so much to do, but the body and the custom paint job, the hardest part of all, is finally done. The flow coat is on. I ended up doing 2 coats of CX2 with HS25 in the end because I wasn't quite happy with the first one. So I smashed it with a second one. So it's probably got about, I don't know, 6-7 litres worth of lacquer on it now. But my God, is it worth it. So I'm gonna shut up, keep my mouth shut. I'm gonna walk around and I'm gonna show you this absolute thing of beauty. So here we go. We've got all the line work on the bonnet, the scrolls, got the detail, the ghosted details in there. Oh my God, nearly fell over then. There's the front end. Obviously that custom, I've still got to make the grille for that as well. That's the green side. It's a bit hard to get down here with the lighting on the camera. It's making it look really dark, but got all the ghost work up there as well. As long as I don't drop this camera on the roof, I'll be all right. Also, just to point out, the reason the aerial is on the roof and taped up, because to take the aerial out, as is the sunroof, which fortunately slides back in under, it requires dismantling the entire interior, which I'm not willing to do, to be honest. Fuck that. So do what you got to do. Got obviously the custom rear wing. It's not bolted in properly, it's propped up so I can get the paint and the lacquer in the gaps and stuff. The custom rear end, same like cut out on the back, similar to the front to really, you know, enhance that fighter jet F-15 look. So obviously we've got the massive intake that's on the front and I wanted to kind of mimic that on the back, hence why we've got the big cutout in the middle. And then onto the pink side. Gunslinger speed shop down here as well. Then I'll show you the roof on the pink side. So the fuchsia was slightly overpowered by the Pink Candora. But I mean, I think it still works. It's still pretty cool, and obviously it gives it a bit of contrast so everything's not identical all the way around. But yeah, I am absolutely over the moon. Absolutely over the moon with it. And hopefully this paint job and the body and all the work, all the hours that have gone into this will be enough to get me through the Hot Wheels Legends Tour 2027. If it ain't, then what does one do to win Hot Wheels Legends, you know? How much work can one put in? I've still got a year left of building, a whole year. There is so much to do, but I am absolutely just blown away by my own work, to be fair. Sounds very arrogant of me, but I'm so impressed with it. I absolutely love it. Custom paints, you guys, especially Callum, who I deal with on the phone, absolutely fantastic paint company, fantastic guys. Customer service is second to none. I've got to give them a massive, massive shout out for partnering with me on the Chrysler 300C build. They've been absolutely phenomenal. I've used them for the last 7 years and they really are, 8 years, sorry, really are a fantastic company. Their products are amazing. And I've been fortunate enough to be the first person in the UK to use the Candora candy. No, this has not been released yet. It wasn't getting released until I painted the 300. How fucking cool is that? So I'm literally the first person in the UK ever to use the Candora, and what a beautiful color it is. let's just look at the colour of it. It's absolutely glorious. Like, you'd never seen nothing like it. That is absolutely, see if I can get a close up here. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful colour, and I'll show you the greens as well. I do have gold Candora to use, but that I'm using that for something else on this car, but that is not part of the body. But here we go, this is the green. That's the emerald. That's the pink. And that is, well, it was fuchsia, but it's now got pink over it, obviously. And yeah, absolutely, just their products are second to one. They are second to one, second to none. They are absolutely beautiful. I will tag them below. Do check them out, honestly. Make sure you quote Gunslinger. Tell them where you come from. And yeah, mate, their stuff is fucking phenomenal. So thanks for watching to the end. Do keep coming back, do subscribe, because obviously this is not the end. There's still a year's worth of work to go into this. And I really appreciate the support and people, you know, getting involved in the journey on the way to the Hot Wheels Legends. And yeah, let's fucking stick it. So for now, toodle pip. See you in a bit. Much love.